Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Chris Stallings. You know me here on YouTube as MarauderX, and welcome to My 2 Cents, where I give you my 2 cents, or rather my opinion, on something going on in the video game world today, be it a bit of news, business practice, event, something that I feel that I need to get my thoughts out. Kind of the whole thing of getting your thoughts on paper, except in my case it's getting my thoughts on video. So this 2 cents is going to be about Fatal Frame. And I know I don't even really need to do this because there's so many other people who've talked about this, and they're much more popular or much more eloquent, or, they've been able to get this point across in a much more, concise fashion. But I still feel the need to talk about it just a little. So the Fatal Frame series is not a series that I have personally been that interested in. I can understand why it's exceptionally popular. I have friends who love it, and through them I've been able to see why it is a good series, why they are fantastic games, and why they are so upset when the series gets downplayed the way it currently has been for the last 2 incarnations. So Fatal Frame 4 was never released outside of Japan. It was a physical release, but it never made it outside of Japan. You either had to import it, or you just never got the chance to play it. Fatal Frame 5, however, was confirmed that it was going to get a North American release. And with that, there was much rejoicing, because we have friends over at Operation Zero and several other campaigns that, thanks to them, they were able to keep word of the series alive. They were able to introduce new people to the series, show why it's a fantastic series, and drum up the support that shows that there is an audience for these games that still would like to play these games. The problem is, Fatal Frame 5 is only going to be a digital copy, which, personally, I don't have much against digital only. I understand that a digital only future is probably inevitable. As much as I love physical copies, I love having a tangible version that I can hold in my hands, I understand that the digital versions have a considerably lower overhead, meaning it's not as expensive to make, produce, and release a digital-only title, but it also maximizes profits for the companies developing them, which those are all win-wins. But again, I still prefer a physical. But the problem with this is digital only works if you have a good infrastructure for it, and unfortunately Nintendo is not there yet. The reason why I'm saying this is because the Wii U, the system that Fatal Frame 5 is coming out on, does not have much built-in memory. If you have one of the deluxe Wii U, or one of the limited edition release Wii U consoles, you are going to cap out at 32 gig for storage, which most iPods are going to be bigger than that these days, and for the most part they hold music. Sometimes people will put videos on, but it's still primarily a music thing, which is ridiculous that so little space is available on a console. Their solution is you have the ability to use a USB hard drive or other USB storage to expand upon it later. But the problem is Fatal Frame 5 is going to be 16 gig. That's a lot, especially if all you had was a 32 gig. And even if you had a 32 gig, you don't have 32 gig. Anyone who buys a device this day and age knows that it says, oh, 32 gig. Some of that is already going to be partitioned off for things like the operating system, background programs, proprietary software, things that are needed to make the system go. So you're not going to have the full 32 gig because some of it is already going to be allocated to just making sure the system runs. So say you're going to have maybe 28 gig. Who knows? But 16 gig, that's the bulk of a console. And if you have any other game or DLC, you're probably going to run out of space really quickly. For example, my Wii U, I picked up the Legend of Zelda Wind Waker collection, the special edition with the nice, scroll work on the tablet. The problem is, Wind Waker HD for that version was digital, meaning I already have that game on the hard drive, meaning I have even less space to start with because I chose to get a limited edition that I did not get a physical copy game for. So now I'm left with, do I have to delete Legend of Zelda, try to get a physical copy instead? or do I purchase expansion space for my Wii U? And the problem with that is, if I purchase expansion space, I am not saving any money buying a digital-only game. One of the perks as a consumer for digital-only is typically it's actually a lower cost to us as well, because we don't have to pay for things like packaging, shipping, distribution rights, any of that. We typically get a little bit of a discount, except in Nintendo's case. Nintendo seems to be, again, one of the few companies that does not adhere to that type of business model. So if they were to give a discount on it, I'm still not going to be able to take advantage of that discount because I will have to spend extra to buy expandable storage. So if I had the choice between a digital copy and expandable storage, or a physical copy for the same price, give or take, I'd go with the physical copy. Because it's something that I will have there, it's tangible, and I don't have to worry about licensing rights in the future causing me to lose access to that game should I have to delete it for whatever reason. And that's something that's happened on the Wii before. The Donkey Kong Country series had to be removed from the North American Wii shop because of a licensing issue, presumably with Rare. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game on NES was removed at one point as well. And these are things that it happens with a digital-only infrastructure that is not well maintained. Other games that full release retail titles like Tatsunoko vs. Capcom would be in the same boat. There's no current printings of that. There's no current printings of any Wii game to my knowledge, but that one would have been one that would have been taken away from the eShop because the licensing agreement between Tatsunoko and Capcom did expire. So that one would have been taken off as well. And that's the problem, is that Nintendo has not adopted a good digital future. Now there's talk with the NX and their partnership with Dina and creating a more familiar online infrastructure along the likes of Steam or PlayStation Network or Xbox Live, to where games are tied to an account rather than hardware, but it's still a little unnerving. The fact that my only choice is to get a digital copy of the game and have to buy an expansion, rather than having a choice of digital and expansion or physical copy. Because I have a feeling I'm not the only one in this situation where I am out of space on my Wii U and would either have to delete something or not get the game because I just don't have the space, or have to shell out extra to get the storage. So it's rather disappointing. So that's my thought on it, is that it's just disappointing. Nintendo has not fully embraced digital only, and because they have not embraced digital only, I really feel it is a bad move for them to have a retail release be digital only. A game that has a physical copy in other regions should have a physical copy in every released region. That's just my 2 cents on it. You're free to agree or disagree. Let me know your reasons for either in the comment section. I mean, I'm fully aware that I could be missing something that would make a digital-only version of this game, perfect. But all I can see are the negatives. I mean, I'm glad it's finally coming out, and if it's coming out as digital-only, that's fantastic, because it is still coming out. But it's rather disappointing that short-sightedness on Nintendo's part makes this more of a hassle for me and other consumers, whereas it wouldn't be the case on their competition. So, like I said, let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comments below, and I will see you again in the future for my 2 cents. Later, everyone.